The next 6 months will be the toughest time for BYD over its last 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, maybe even 5 years of its history. Why? Well, there's an epic collapse going on in the country. In China, the world's largest auto market, there are about 30 automakers sitting on millions of cars who have no choice but to dump them on the market at prices we will have never ever seen before. Now, there's a good reason for that, and I'll explain that in the video. These cars will be useless after July. They won't be able to be sold. Now, that's what BYD have to contend with. The challenge for BYD here is that still less than 10% of their global sales are outside of China. BYD need to export as many cars as they feasibly can in order to avoid the China tsunami, the China collapse, which has just begun. I saw the reports in China, you might have heard them too, saying that BYD is starting to shut down some of its production lines. My initial response, I didn't believe it. BYD, they're firing on all cylinders. They're doing incredibly well. But, well, then I saw the sales from the last 7 days from the company, and I realized it is very likely correct. Now, keep in mind, BYD said they had 700,000 pre-orders only a few months ago. Clearly, times have changed. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. Great to see you. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back, everyone else. My name's Sam Evans, and I'm coming to you from Bangkok in Thailand. If you've been around for a while, you'd know I'm actually from Melbourne in Australia, usually based in Melbourne in Australia, but right now I'm here because of some health stuff going on with my wife. She's getting cancer treatment here right now. So thank you to all of you out there. Really appreciate your support. It's been incredible. It's really restored my faith in humanity. It really has. I don't say that lightly at all. A very genuinely true statement. BYD over the last 7 days, they have apparently sold around 37,000 cars in China, which you would think would be a good number. In fact, for a year ago, that would have been spectacular. Everyone would be saying, wow, look what's happening here with BYD. But in the context of where things were going, trending over the last 6 months, the last 2 weeks of sales for BYD are very concerning. Now, yes, Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger, they're saying BYD is smashing Tesla in China. Sure, yeah, BYD are in general sales, absolutely smashing Tesla in China. In sales, not in profit, in sales. That is true. And in addition to that, I mean, they make their own batteries. They have battery factories everywhere. They have factories scattered everywhere. That's a bit of a point I've discussed with some analysts who believe that's an issue. Doesn't matter though. Clearly, BYD are very vertically integrated. They make a lot of their own stuff. And we know that they now make a profit on EVs. At least they have over the last few quarters. That's been a good win for them. In addition to that, their sales went up every single month for around 10 months in a row. Just miraculous numbers. People have been saying, BYD is now beating Tesla in EV sales. Now, they have never actually beat Tesla in EV sales. Plug-in hybrids are not EVs. Yeah, they're great. I mean, they're better than gasoline-powered cars if you drive them as an EV, as most people don't, unfortunately. But they're great cars, sure. They're a stopgap measure, though. They're not a BEV. A BEV is a fully electric car. Has BYD beat Tesla in the sales of fully electric cars worldwide ever? No, they have not. Are they doing really well? Absolutely. Do they need to necessarily beat Tesla in EV sales right now to be winning? No, they're winning their own race. It's great, but there could be problems. Unfortunately, there does appear to be some cracks. Now, BYD did make a very strategic and I think intelligent decision recently to build a factory here in Thailand where I am. By the way, I'm seeing EVs here in Thailand everywhere. They've just gone on sale like weeks ago and I'm just starting to, BYD Atto 3s, I'm seeing them everywhere. I can't hide from them. They're chasing me down saying, hey, you remember what you had in Australia? Look what you've left behind. Tesla Model 3s, I've seen plenty of those. They've only just gone on sale here. Or a good cat, I've seen those. XC40, just saw one of those tonight. It's like I'm seeing EVs all the time here in Thailand, but that's not really the point. The point is BYD are making a factory here in Thailand to build right-hand drive EVs. Now, there is no production facility in the world, no factory setup dedicated to building electric cars in right-hand drive. So this is the first in the world. That's a very smart strategic move from BYD because they're doing it in a country where cars are right-hand drive. They're doing it in a country where vehicles are cheap to produce. They're doing it in a country where there's a massive automotive industry. Ford cars get produced here. Volkswagen cars get produced here. Lots of cars get produced here. That's a very smart move for BYD, but are they starting to suffer a decline in sales in China. Well, it would appear so. Reports say that BYD's factories here in China, some of their production lines have been either slowed or shut down. This has happened to other automakers as well. Now, if you look at the sales numbers, there clearly does appear to be a correlation, a decline in BYD's deliveries, which is a bit strange considering if they had 700,000 pre-orders only say 4 or 5 months ago, or even less than that, based on comments from BYD's CEO Wang Chanfu, then what has happened? How have they dropped this much that some of their production lines are being paused? That seems weird. So looking at BYD's monthly sales, there is a trend here that to me is slightly concerning. Now, yes, look at BYD sales from last year. April, amazing. May, even better. And then they just beat their sales every single month in a row. It was absolutely amazing. However, I'm noticing a trend lately, and that is that more and more of BYD's sales are becoming plug-in hybrids. Now, why does this matter? Well, it does matter because 80% of the new energy vehicles, which are plug-in hybrids and electric cars, 80% of those being sold in China are fully electric. The majority of the Chinese population do not perceive a plug-in hybrid as the future of the automotive industry. Yeah, some of them are buying them because they think they need it for whatever reason, but that doesn't mean if you actually interview them and ask them, and there's many interviews out there, what do they perceive the future of transport to be? None of them would tell you a plug-in hybrid. None. Euro 7 emissions regulations are coming into force in July of this year in China. If you don't meet those, you can't sell your cars in China. China is trending towards electric only. So BYD are setting up production lines to build a lot of plug-in hybrids. That's not necessarily a good strategic move for the long term. Yes, it's sort of like, hey, I want to make money today and I know how to do that, so I'll go and do that today. But is that a good long-term move? I don't think it is. I mean, now we're looking at a biggest percentage. We're looking at more like 60% of BYD sales being plug-in hybrid over the last 2 months. Plus, then we see the sales numbers, right? New energy. BYD sold or delivered 38,000 vehicles in China over the last 7 days. If you extrapolate that and just add a few thousand, for good measure, we're looking at 160,000 deliveries. Now, that's a really good number in comparison to all of their competition, but in comparison to their recent deliveries, it's a surprising decline. BYD delivered 193,000 vehicles in China in February, the worst month of the year. It is the worst month of the year for China's automotive sales. It has been now for about 38 years in a row. February is the month where people just go to sleep. China hibernates. So BYD did very well in February. So what's going on then? Why is it that over the last 2 weeks in China, BYD sales have dropped significantly versus February? March is always a better month for everyone in China. But so far, for BYD, it hasn't been. I'm not sure what's going on, or whether or not this has something to do with the crazy price drops we've seen from all EV makers, and in fact, pretty much all vehicle manufacturers in China. It's been amazing. It's a point in time that I just think we'll look back and say, look what happened then. That's a warning. There is 4 million cars sitting in dealerships without buyers. A lot of those will never be sold because as of July, more than half of them can't be sold. They don't meet Euro 7 emissions regulations. This is an unmitigated disaster. So the problem here is BYD, Tesla, and everyone else will have to compete with these companies over the next 3-4 months. They only have 4 months to dump these cars on the market. I'm talking Toyota. I'm talking Volkswagen. I'm talking Nissan. I'm talking Ford. I'm talking General Motors. These guys know they have millions and millions of dollars in inventory that literally cannot be sold in only 4 months' time. What will they sell for? Absolute bargain prices. Now, how much of a hit will BYD, maybe Tesla as well, probably as well, take over the next few months as a result? It'll be big. They'll be okay in the long run, but it will be some tough times for the next few months. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching.